Hey guys, you can now turn all your make.com scenarios into tools that your AI agents like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini can connect to and use autonomously. That means all the scenarios that you have made for publishing your content or adding a customer to your CRM or adding a user into your mailing list and start sending emails to them can now be accessible to your AI agents very easily, and your AI agents can trigger these scenarios on their own. This is made possible by Make's new feature called Make MCP Server. And since MindPal AI Agents have native support for MCP, you can now connect your no-code AI agents on MindPal to Make.com scenarios via Make MCP server, and all you need is just a single URL. Let me show you how it works. First, you will need to set up your own Make.com MCP server. Let's log in. Go to the profile page and locate the MCP access section where you can generate a new MCP token. This will generate a unique URL which essentially points to the address of your Make.com MCP server that you can give to any AIs, and they will know where to go to your MCP server to access the tools. In this case, I'm gonna get this unique URL, go to my MindPal account where my AI agents are currently at, and I can connect my Make MCP server to any AI agents that I have. For example, one AI agent that I use a lot is MindPal blog post writer. And I can head over to the MCP section, add new SSE MCP server, paste my server URL here, give it a name. In this case, it is Make MCP, and add this server. So as you can see, immediately after I added this Make MCP, MindPal already detected that this Make MCP brings two tools here. One is a scenario called Viral Content Idea from YouTube, and another is another scenario called MindPal Blog Post Poster. This is because the way Make MCP works is that Make automatically convert all of the Make scenarios currently set as run on demand as the tools for your AI's agents. Currently, there are two scenarios in my Make account that are set as run on demand. That's why you can see both these tools visible here. And this means that my MindPal blog post writer can now call any of these tools when it feels necessary. Let's take a look at one of these scenarios to see how it needs to be set up to make this MCP tool work. This is the MindPal blog post poster scenario that you have seen as one of the tools available in my Make.com MCP server. Now, if you take a closer look, you will see that I have set this schedule setting as run on demand. That means this scenario doesn't run on time schedule, but instead it will run every time a third party, in this case my AI agent, call it. So make sure you set your scenario to on demand for your AI agent to be able to access it. Now, a crucial part of this scenario is that this scenario will take certain inputs in order for it to start. In this case, because this scenario is designed for posting MindPal blog posts, I have defined the scenario inputs to include these properties: the title, the slug, a short title, description, content, keywords, and category. All of these are based on my own preferences and my company's design of a blog post. So it's up to you to decide what scenario inputs to be included here. For each input, you will give it a name, a description, the type of the input, as well as other settings here. These scenario inputs would give your AI agent information about the required parameters to trigger this scenario. So if my AI agent want to trigger the MindPal blog post poster, in this case, it would need to prepare all of these inputs here and send these inputs along with its request so that this scenario can be executed correctly. That's why the description here is very important. All the description that you give to each parameter here would be the guidance for your AI agent to know what value to put in for each of these properties. So make sure you have set them up correctly. Now, once this scenario receives all of these inputs, it will trigger a first MongoDB action that essentially create a new blog post in my company's CMS, and it will take these values from the scenario inputs here, the title, blog, short title, everything here all come from the scenario inputs. And you can define this action just like you did with any other action on make.com. But you don't have to stop there. You can add as many actions as you need into this scenario. For example, I have another HTTP request action that essentially send a notification email for me that the new blog post has been live so that I can go there and check. But you can add many more things. Now that my scenario is properly set up, let's go back to MindPal and try this out to see if it works. Let's say I've been wanting to write a blog post to provide a review of top cloud MCP servers. Right now, I can provide the raw information here and ask my MindPal blog post writer to write this blog post first. Now, MindPal blog post writer is doing the job, and here it is. It is producing the blog post based on the raw information that I have given. Now that the blog post is done, I want the AI agent to post this blog post into MindPal official blog post page. So what I'm gonna do is I will ask it to post the blog post. And as you can see, it is calling my make scenario MindPal blog post poster. And the inputs that it sent along with this is exactly the input that I have configured for my make scenario: the title, keywords, category, description, short title, content slug perfectly. And it received a confirmation message from make that scenario has been executed successfully. This is true because if we go back to my scenario, go to the history, you will see that there is a new execution has just been executed a few seconds ago. And if you take a look at the details here, the input is exactly the information that has been prepared by my blog post writer agent from MindPal app. And as expected, the blog post is also on MindPal's official blog post page too. So good and so seamless. Now, what if you want make.com scenario to return some information, some result back to your AI agent in MindPal, so the AI agent can do something else after that? In the previous example, I have shown you how to let your AI agent to trigger a make scenario to run. So all we need is just a confirmation message from make that the execution has been done successfully. But my typically workflow for producing blog posts is not one step like this. Actually, I have a blog post workflow that will take in the topic, then write the blog post and save the blog post to database as in the previous example in the chat. But it will also write a social media post so that I can promote the blog post across my channels. And in this social media post, I would expect it to include a link for the readers to read more. And the link to read preferably should come from the saved blog post to database step directly, because that means that I can confirm the link is real because it has already been posted successfully. In this save blog post to database step, I would need more than just a simple confirmation message. I would need this step to return the blog post URL itself. So what I can do is that I can come back to my blog poster on make.com, go to the scenario inputs and output settings, and I can define some scenario outputs here. In this case, it would be the blog post URL, but you can add more outputs if you want. It would be a text, and this would be required. Let me save this. And then in the last step of this scenario, I will add the scenario's return output action. As you can see here, it has already been populated with blog post URL field, and I can configure the blog post URL here. In this case, it would be like this, where the slug would be the official slug of the saved blog post. Let me save this action here, and now let's try this out by starting a new run with this workflow. The blog post topic in this case could be the exact topic that I have provided previously, and let's continue. This would trigger this multi-agent workflow on MindPal to run. It starts off with a write blog post step done by the MindPal blog post writer that I have shown you before. And this is the blog post itself. Now, the next step is to save the blog post to the database. MindPal blog post writer has prepared all of the inputs to be used with the tool here. And then it called the scenario on make MindPal blog post poster with these inputs. And here is the result. And as you can see, the result returned back is not just a simple make.com confirmation message, but the blog post URL itself, just like I have configured. So now we can get the full blog post in this case. And this blog post URL will be provided to the later two steps, writing a LinkedIn post. So a LinkedIn post can include the official blog post URL here, so the readers can have a look. Similarly, a Twitter post generated also have the link to the official blog post. And that's it. That's how easy it is for you to turn any make.com scenarios into tools that your AI agents can use, not just for single agents in a chat, but also inside a multi-agent workflow like this. Imagine the possibilities. So please go ahead, set up your own make.com MCP server and connect that MCP server to your AI agents in one click and see the magic for yourself. Happy automating!